Hey guys, Ed Newman here. The purpose of this video is going to be to show you how I use Seets to source products. If you're not already in Seets, they're currently not accepting new members. They're only doing it by invite and probably a couple members each month. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in seeing the whole review. But this video isn't going to be of any use to you if you're not already in Seets. Okay, so to start looking for products, let's go to Seats products. Okay, so now we're going to click on the filters here. And I'm going to show you what I typically use for filters. So for max sales rank is not really too relevant. I don't even look at sales rank. I usually go by Keepa drops. However, we can use this just to filter items that may not sell every month. A lot of new products won't have any sales rank, and there's no sense of even looking at those. The problem with sales rank is it varies by category. 100,000, is that 100,000? 100,000 in one category may be great, and 100,000 in another category may be horrible. But we're going to use that just as something to go by. I'm not going to worry about uh, searching for a particular thing. Not going to worry about category. Not going to worry about brand, merchant ID. No, in stock. That's really not all that relevant. So definitely don't use that. Uh, Max cost, not really concerned with that, right? For minimum FBA profit, for now, let's go with 2. And minimum ROI, let's go with 30. Uh, One of the problems that we have with Seats doing its filtering in here is that it doesn't take into account shipping charges to Amazon. So, like multi-packs can go crazy. So, if we use a high ROI here, they'll tend to get us things that are uh, more probable to be profitable. I don't care about the sellers at this time. Uh, the only other thing I would set uh, is here. What we can do is we can use today's date here, and what that'll do is that'll get rid of all of these NAs. Uh, well, at some point, looking for things that don't have a lead time yet. What that means is they haven't received any shipments yet, so they don't know how long the lead time is. And the problem with Funko Pops is sometimes some of them are only made once a year. And if it's made in November, then you're not going to get it to the beginning of December, and we're in August now. So in the beginning, when you're looking for products to get going, I would stay away from the NAs, and by setting this to today's date, that'll do that. All right, let's see what we're getting for a filter set here. Okay, so we came out with 254 products. So now let's go in. I'm just going to explain to you what I use and look for. Okay, this item here. The first thing that strikes me here is that this thing is in the electronics category, where it really looks like a hardware kind of item to me. But we're going to take a look at it anyway. So the total purchase cost is 347. Now you need some kind of profit calculator. I mean, I would not stick with just using the Amazon calculator. I would get something else. I use BuyBot Pro, but there's other ones out there. There's RevSeller. There's AZ Insight. I'll put a link in the description of this video for BuyBot Pro if you don't already have it, or one of the others. If you have the others, then that's fine. I'm sorry. I think I said the price was 347. Yeah. Why it's showing? It's not normally going to show the price here. This is just showing it because I've looked at this before. And then something else you want to look for is you want to see that the sell price here is the same as the sell price over here. And then let's click Analyze. Okay, so the first thing that strikes me right here is right here. This is saying that there's no sales history of this item. So this is definitely not something that I would want to look at. But just to show you what I consider when I'm looking at an item, I'm going to talk about other things. If this was me just going out and sourcing right now, I would just move on from here. But I'm just going to show you some other things. Like here's this thing. It does have a bunch of sellers. There's only one FBA seller on it. The rest of them all are all MF sellers, which means they ship them themselves. Uh, so let's go take a look at the Keepa graph. You can see there's no sales here whatsoever, and even if we expand it to a yearly, no sales. This is definitely not an item we want to take a look at. So we will skip that. You see the sales rank is 97.65. However, it's in the wrong category. And that's probably why it's thinking that it's getting sales when it's not. Okay, let's go down to the next one. Snack sauce. Okay, 13 days, so that's a quick lead time. And let's see, the price is 9.56. Should really just copy and paste these prices because my memory is horrible. No, this is not going to be profitable. Well, at least I don't think so. The problem is this is like almost a pound, and there's four of them, so it's going to get you some shipping charges. Again, it has 9.56 because I already looked at it. Yeah, this is again. This is a quirk with a BuyBot Pro. Somehow it comes up with, even though this is saying it's in the last 90 days, it sold 123, but doesn't have any current sales. I don't know why that comes up with that. I'm more concerned with this number here than this and this. However, having all three good numbers are good. So let's scroll down and keep it. Again, there's no sense even looking at this, but I'm just looking at this to show you. You can see there's no sales of this. For sales, you'd have a green bar dipping down here, and we're not seeing any of that. And if we expand it to yearly, I mean, there was some back here. That was to February of 2022. Yeah, yeah, there was some, but there's no reason for the sales to have gone away that I can see of anyway. There's people that have that in stock. Certainly, the amount of sellers has come down. However, there is at least two people with it in stock. So if someone wanted to buy it, they would have been able to buy it. Now, this could be a quirk in Keepa. Also, sometimes the data from Keepa is not correct. We could go down and take a look at it. There's two sellers on it. Uh, I really can't judge anything by that. If there was a whole bunch of sellers on it, you'd probably say, hey, it's probably selling. But being that there's only two sellers, again, it's dropped from X amount of sellers down to two. Uh, I mean, this could be selling. It's just not something that I would take a risk on. Well, actually, we can't take a risk. I'm sorry, can't take a risk on it anyway because it's not profitable. It's only 5% profitable. Not something that I would be interested in. Like I said, it's because it's 4 pounds. Okay, okay. Here's a Funko Pop. This is a weird one. I remember looking at this before, and a lot of things didn't make any sense. $12.45. Not seeing some of the things that I saw before that didn't make any sense, but let's take a look at it. Well, here's the problem with this one. We're buying it for 12.45, and it's showing here is 14.99. What is it showing here? Where's the buy box? Buy box price 18. So it probably wouldn't be much problem at 18. They tend to use this thing here called the second buy box, and I personally do not believe in the second buy box. I'll show you. I'll show you what the second buy box is. Let's just get some calculations here. I mean, this is obviously not going to be profitable because it's only $2 there. But even if we were selling at, let's see who's selling first. Well, a lot of people selling, but here's the problem. Amazon's on it. And Amazon's selling it for 14.99. So yeah, we're not going to be able to do anything with that. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. We were going to go look at see. Oh, the second buy box. Okay, the second buy box are these things down here. A lot of times there'll only be one seller down here, but this is what they call it because you can add this to cart here. So most people do not look at this, especially because this is always higher. I guess I shouldn't say always, but every time I see it, this is going to be the lower price because Amazon has given this person the buy box because he has a better price in general. And in this fact, it's actually Amazon. So rarely is someone going to come down here and buy it. So I would never base anything on a second buy box cost. That's me personally. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the one that didn't make any sense to me. Uh, you've got a buy box price of $150 for an item that's 9.77. I mean, we're going to take a look at this, but this is scary. Oh, I can see what the problem is with this. I mean, I don't know why it came up with such a ridiculous price, but this is something that has a gazillion variations. So let's just get some numbers here so we can take a look at it. Again, I'm just showing you things now that things that I look at, even whether or not the item itself is something that I would look at. Uh, Now this one, right here looks good. 95% ROI, plenty of sales. Here's the problem. Sorry, my cursor's going off the screen. I set the screen the wrong size. You got different sizes and you got different colors. So there's a whole ton of variations. Now in BuyBot Pro, you can click on the Show Variations. That's going to show you. Now, if the one is highlighted is the one that we are actually looking at. And you can see out of it's got a 1% of the review. So, I mean, in theory, if you were to go up here and look at this thing, it would say it would sell 1% of this, which would be basically 8 times a month, which isn't necessarily horrible. Uh, However, I tend to stay away from variations just because, I mean, that 1%, that's, who knows, that just could be one fluke review. If it was 50%, something like that, then, something like that I'd be interested in. But just something I've gotten burned on things with variations before. So this is definitely not something that I would buy. Okay, here we got a half mask respirator, price is 2003. I believe I look at this one, it had two variations. See, now something with two variations isn't all that concerning. Geez, I really dropped off of this thing. All right, was it the price 2003? 2003, yep. Okay, so let's analyze this, and while this is analyzing, let's go down here and take a look. Oh, I guess it doesn't have any variations. It's very weird. It must be something else that had variation. All right, anyway, so let's look at this. All right, so this has got 27% profit margin. That's okay. The reason why this is saying average and not lighting up a big green thing is because the ROI for Buy by Pro is a little bit lower than it likes. It's probably 30, 40% is what it's looking for. But when buying wholesale through most distributors, it's hard to get those kind of numbers. I mean, occasionally you will, but for e-com, I tend to, since I don't have to do much of the work, Ecom does all the work. 20% ROI is kind of like what I use for a minimum. That doesn't mean if I see something that sells a ton at 18% or 15%, I might still buy that, but it's not something I'm aiming for anyway. All right, so let's we analyze it. Let's see. All right, so this has got one, two, three, four. Uh, oh, it's got a price of 35, so we're gonna have to count this guy. See, if this guy was like way out of line with all the other prices, then we wouldn't count them. Because we're only concerned with the numbers that we can compete with. But apparently these guys probably don't have them in stock right now. So the 35 is the kind of price. So, but we would want to make sure that we can be competitive at 31.95 here. So let's put 31.95, and that's probably going to blow this out. 31.95. Yeah, 11%. I mean, that's something that, I mean, I wouldn't normally look at something at 11%. The only thing that would be here for that is that the price is higher. So let's go take a look at Keepa and see if 31 is an actual bottom or if it's just a recent bottom. So, okay, so this looks actually pretty good. Uh, we're getting a buy box at 37. So, oh, I can see there's a little bit of drop here. So this is something that I would be interested in buying because uh, it tends to have a price that's good. $5 at 35.95. That's we were making 27% at that, so that's fine. It's just a little quirk that it's down now. It's things tend to just pop down there, but then it should probably come back up. But I wouldn't buy a whole ton of these things. But this is something I would buy. Okay, Microflex 1283. This is probably going to be tight here. You typically want to see something that's at least twice the price that you buy it for it to be profitable for you. This is probably going to be right borderline of being profitable and not being viable. Looks like my system is really dragging right now. Yeah, 10%. But we'll go take a look at that anyway. Okay, there's four people on it, and they only have one in stock, so that's something you might want to consider here. Is that there's only four sellers. They each only have one in stock, and the thing is selling 19 times per month. So really, by the time you got all this stuff, all these people will be out of stock. It doesn't mean they're not going to replenish it. Let's go take a look at the Keepa. Okay, well, this is nice that this is up at 40 back here. It disappeared here because no one has it in stock. Now they got four people have it in stock, and you can see it's come down a bit, but So the buy bot's 26, 26, 26. What's it at now? $5 is at 18 now. Is that what we had for? No, we had 23. Yeah, this would be a pass. I mean, it's a possible. It's not something that, I get excited about. But yeah, this is a pretty good line here. And the fact that it was up higher later, I mean, you could possibly buy these. And by the time they got there, all those people will be sold out. You might be able to be selling it back here at this price. But I'm going to pass it. Okay, here's the same thing, but a different model. I think when I looked at this before, this one was better. 12.95. Okay. This is a little bit higher price point here, $28. Okay, because we're getting the same thing here. Well, actually, the ROI is higher on this at 34. Let's go take a look, see who's selling it. So we only got three FBA sellers on it. Um, let me. This might be something I might be interested in buying, so I just want to see if I have it on order. Thought I had this window already open. Come on. No, I have not ordered this before. Okay, so let's go look at the details of it on Keepa. Uh, like I said, here looks good. Selling a bunch of times a month. Only what, three sellers, I think? Yeah, three sellers. 34% ROI. Let's go look at Keepa. Okay, so on this one here, so I'm gonna look at something BuyBot Pro gives you, and that's an average. So they give you the BuyBot. I'm sorry, the buy box average. 27, 26, 24, 20. So if I could be profitable at 100, 24.69. See if I can be profitable at 24.69. 24.61. I don't know. See, now this is something that I'm going to buy because even at the worst case scenario, I'm making 11%. And right now, I think I was making like 35%. If we look at here, it's significantly over that. Do we use 24.69? Yeah. And how many people? What's the stock inventory? This guy's got a lot, but he's got a lot of 28. But see, this is probably why that number is dipping down to low because you get some MF sellers here. The MF sellers aren't winning the buy box. See, this guy's got it at $20. This guy's winning it for $8 more. And same thing. So the FBA sellers have got this thing up here. Maybe the FBA sellers went off the listing. Um, New third-party FBA. No, that guy actually had a 20. I guess that guy's not on the listing anymore. All right, so this is something that I would buy. So I just wanted to show you this to show you how you actually buy something if you decide you want to buy it. All right, so what we're going to do now to click to buy is going to go into BCD, which is the actual buying portal. 12.95. Now let's see what kind of quantity. Oh, it's not going to. Sometimes it'll give you an estimate what it thinks is a good quantity thing here. We got to put this back to the 28. I don't remember what it was, but we'll just put 28 in for now. If that button had come up as green, it would give you an estimated buying thing. But since it doesn't, what we're gonna say is we got three people on the listing, 57 sales a month. So 57 divided by three is what? 60 divided by three is 20. So in theory, I could get 20 sales of this a month. Uh, I like 20 because when you ship stuff to Amazon, they like things to be in quantity of 18 or above, so that it goes to one fulfillment center. So I try to order lately a minimum of 18. Now, if it's a high price item, I'm not going to buy 18 on my first purchase, but this is okay. So on this thing here, we decided to buy 20 on it. So we're going to add that to cart. And I think there's one other thing I saw when I was previewing this stuff. We'll come back to it. Okay, here's McCormick. It's a 12 pack. Many times these 12 packs are not profitable because of the weight of them. But let's go take a look. So the total of this is $20.04. Yeah, this is something I would stay away. You can see this has a gazillion variations. I would not even consider that. Let me close some of these other tabs before I get confused. And the same thing with these. I'm not even going to look at these. Well, some of these are only 4 packs, but I'm not going to waste my time with. Oh, here's the other thing I kind of took a quick look at. Uh, $60.79. So now this has variations, but it only has two. So that's something that we can look at. And now if you click on the show variations, again, this is a BuyBot Pro thing. You can see it's almost, 50-50, and actually the one we want is actually 55%. So that's even better. But even if it was this one, 45 versus 55, well, who cares? All right, so let's do it. Is that what the price, 60.79? 60.79. All right, let's analyze it. All right, so this is selling 57. So in theory, that means it's selling, our variation is selling around 30 a month. Now let's see how many other people are selling. Well, there's only one other person selling it. McKell. The only thing you want to make sure on these kind of things, I mean, we know that this is Honeywell, so this is probably not going to be a problem. But you would want to come here and see that this is not Honeywell selling it. It's not. It's McKell Connection, and they're not even a big company because they only got one review. So this would not scare me at all. Typically, you don't want to buy items that you're, either the only seller or one or two sellers. I tend to look for three, but in this case, this is a good item. It's Honeywell. It's a major brand. It's not like made by Joe Bob or something like that, and this guy is not Honeywell. Like I said, he's new because he's only got one review, so he's not going to file any IP complaints, most likely. Anyway. But there's no problem defending IP complaints using the BCD invoices, so you don't have to be scared of that. Okay, so this thing says it sells. We decided it sells 30 times a month. We got one person there, so that's going to say maybe I'll sell 15 of these. Well, let's go look at the. Did we look at the keep it chart? I don't remember. Let's go. Oh, this is a nice one. Yeah, see, it's pretty steady. What's the price here? 125. That's what we got now. Right, 125, 127. Pretty constant across here. It dropped off a couple times. There were no sellers on it. So this is something. Now, I kind of would say that this could be semi-risky because there's only one seller on it. So I'm probably not going to want to buy a large quantity of these. Yeah. I'm just going to test this one, and I'm going to test it. I will buy maybe 5 of them. There's enough profit. Let's see, what's the profit on these? Uh, there's $31 profit on each one of these. So that's enough profit that if they have to ship one to a fulfillment center by itself, it's not going to hurt me. All right, so we'll add 5. All right, now while we've, let me see if there's any, I'm going to leave that one open just because, see what else is going on here. If there's anything that's good to, I would like to show you a small and light thing. See if we can find some small and lights. We can find small and lights by coming up to the top here. And max cost $4. So, $5 price. $5 price is $5.80. Wait, what? Something's got to be wrong there. We can't sell it for 303 and have a buy box of 580 and make any money. But let's take a look. So 303. Yeah, this is not going to be profitable, as far as I know, anyway. We will look it up. Okay, so now what we got to do on this particular case is it's showing it's a negative profit of 193, but we got to click this small and light thing here. And I don't think that's going to make its profit. Yeah, 0.91. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, we can't really compete on this item. Okay, let's dump that one. Where's the buy box? 1282, 957. Here we go. This looks like a good one. What's the price? 368. Okay, let's go look at this one. I don't like this. It's got variations. Let's see what the sales though. What was the price? 368. 3.68. Oh, missed the 3. 3.68. Yeah, it's. Oh, actually, we didn't turn on the small line. Okay, so this one's good. Let's take a look. There's a bunch of sellers, but cheap items, so I wouldn't be concerned about that. Oh, it only sells 4 times a month. Yeah, this is not something we want to do. Let's just go take a look at the Keepa graph. You gotta always understand that everything is not correct. These are estimated sales, and that doesn't mean that's the guaranteed sales. Keepa is kind of like the thing you got to really master, but you can see there's not too much happening here. And in fact, the prices are dipping pretty low at some points. We're at like a high of sellers for. Let's go back and look at a year. I mean, back here it was at a good price. But yeah, not something. Anyway, the point of this showing you this listing was to show you how to do the small and light. And let's say this was something we were going to buy. First, we would have to buy it and then get it shipped. And then you could go into Amazon and let's see, do I have the link here somewhere? Oh, I don't have the link set. Yeah, well, you have to go to Amazon and register this item as a small and light. I'll post a link in the description of this video where you could go to register it. And I think that we've covered mostly everything I wanted to cover. This is basically what you got to do. You just got to go through all of these products. And I, in general, if you were doing this without Seats, uh, I would say maybe 1 out of 100 would be something you would buy. Whereas using Seats, it's usually 1 or 2 out of 10. How well you work these filters here can improve on that. Also, the categories you're in can improve that. Grocery tends to be fairly good and not have as many variations. Like usually the reasons why something's going to come up here and show you is something that's buyable. Then you go and decide, hey, I'm not going to buyable. It's one of two things. It's either it's not really selling very much, even though this thing says its rank is 97.65. Again, we said this is in the wrong category. Uh, so you don't want to buy things that aren't selling that much. And also if it has too many variations. If it only has a couple variations, it's okay. And you analyze those variations and you're in the something that would be a significant amount of sales based on the estimated sales than that. So those are the two things that you really are checking for. And things like grocery tends to have less variations. There's a lot of other categories that doesn't have that many variations. It's just something you got to kind of get used to, depending on what kind of things that you're looking for. Certainly some things. What did we look at? Oh, I think that thing we looked at was what was the one we looked at that had a ton of variations? I don't remember. I mean, this one had some, but it wasn't a ton. Oh, I think we filtered out because we were looking at small and light now. Again, yeah, you set the max cost to like around $4, or you could even try $5 if you're just looking for small and light. The advantage of small and light for us, as opposed to anyone else in the world, is that we have ecom and Bold City that are fulfilling this thing for no additional price. So, if you were using a prep center, they would charge you between $1 and $2 per items to prep it. And it'd be very hard to do small and light. And if you're doing shipping them yourself, that's still a lot of extra work for making $1 or $2 or something like that. But when you're buying stuff here, who cares? You just click buy and ecom takes care of the rest of it. All right, let me show you how you finish up your order. So you just go into BCD, click on the cart. It's got the 2 items we ordered. Click on checkout. Some of the screens on checkout tend to really drag, so you just got to be patient. Now we're going to go and choose shipping method. I always go at multiple deliveries. The only time I would ever go at single delivery if I had one item on this order and it was hazmat, because I'd want all my hazmats to go in one shipment because you have to pay for actual shipping as opposed to using the Facebook shipping. So you're gonna have to ship it like, I mean, ecom will ship it like UPS or postal service, but you're gonna pay real actual shipping charges, not using the Amazon discounted shipping charges. So in general, you want to go with multiple deliveries and payment options. You want to choose date of invoice. What that means is they're not gonna uh, invoice you until the time that the actual items ship. And you're gonna click confirm order, and that's it. Make sure it goes through here. And that's all there is to it. Okay, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please contact me in the Facebook group. Bye bye.